Warning, there may be explicit language in today's episode. Viewer discretion is advised.
All right, the show that I'm going to say probably little to nothing.
Let's go.
Literally the intro, roast Penn State, the national championship is literally, and lead of course, talk about what the score was for each game. But yes, Ohio State Review Show. This is episode 97, I think. Emily's back. This is before.
Close.
This is yeah, because your interview's at the time of this recording tomorrow. Actually, the time of the recording and this releases, because this releases tonight. So after I'm done recording, I gotta get this edited on.
And record another episode today.
Maybe. Depends on what Shady schedule is. But
Shady.
But yeah, real quick. From editing, I thought it turned out great. Emily, what'd you think about the interview?
I thought it was pretty good. I recorded it, so I thought it was like pretty funny.
Oh yeah, she did.
Yeah, I wish I had some of your facial reactions with it, but
No, Alex, she literally had her phone like right in front of her laptop, and I noticed it on TikTok. I texted her, I was like, wait, are you recording it on your phone the entire time?
That's crazy.
we had like a before part too, like where we were just like talking and how nervous we were, and then like watching it just made it a lot more funny.
Free clout. I love it.
Free clout. Yeah, she gets it.
Let's go.
But real quick, I do want to look up. Also, the Pirates obviously still suck. Nothing.
Yeah.
Just to add on to that. Trying to look. Sorry, I'm looking at the article about Kyron Lacey. I just want to get all the information correct real quick. Because I don't want to get anything wrong.
You want me to talk about Tennessee football real quick while you do that?
Oh yeah.
Like you're literally the quarterback, dude. Like what?
No, I love Josh Heupel for what he did. So
what did he do? I didn't even like see. I haven't.
Essentially what happened, right? There was a lot of speculation that Tennessee quarterback Nico Iamaleava, I believe that's how you pronounce the name, was seeking a new NIL contract from Tennessee, roughly double the contract that he currently had, which is kind of crazy. And without communicating to a single staff member of the Volunteers football program, did not show up to any meetings or practice the day before their spring game.
That's wild.
And then, so that happened. That was Friday, was the day before the spring game. Their spring game was yesterday. So he didn't inform anyone on the staff that he wouldn't be present in any of those things. And then the morning of the spring game, yesterday morning at the time of this recording, Josh Heupel informed the rest of the Tennessee football team that they would be parting ways with quarterback Nico Iamaleava. So he will no longer be a Volunteer. There's speculation that UCLA is trying to scrape together enough NIL money to throw back at him since he's a Southern Cali kid, and UCLA is not very good.
Yeah. I don't think...
Especially now that they're in the best conference in college football.
Right. That too. Well, Chip Kelly's there now too, and... Yeah. Right. Yeah, so I don't understand that. And Chip Kelly played against him. Like, he wasn't even that good when he played against Ohio State, so I don't really...
Oh, he sucked.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
let's make a whole show about the Buckeyes as if it's not supposed to be.
But I got the right info. So it does seem like after the car accident that took, I believe, a 79-year-old's life, Kyron Lacey did take his own life today. So obviously, like with the car crash, there's I'm trying to put this into the right words. Obviously, there was no excuse, but seemed like he was going to cooperate with authorities with that. So, but he did also unfortunately take his own life. So once again, I mean, Alex, we've said it on shows before. If you gotta go get help, go get help, no matter what you're going through. Nothing, even if something terrible happens that you do, it doesn't matter. Anybody can go get help, even if you've made a mistake. So, put it there. But all right, Ohio State, obviously 14-2, national champions. So I'm gonna be kind of like a two-parter to start off. Going in, because obviously I'm not an Ohio State fan. You two are. So why would we be doing this show if you weren't? Let's be real. Going into the season, after of course last season with Kyle McCord, you get Will Howard. He's coming in. Of course. So what did you guys expect from Will Howard? Because I'm sure you guys probably thought it couldn't get any worse than, because you had Kyle McCord year before. And then to add on to that, did you guys before the season think at all, do we have a chance to win it all this year? I mean, I know with the playoffs it was possible because it was expanded, but then you also look at the teams going into the season that everybody thought were going to be lights out. Did you guys question at all, for sure, or was the national championship maybe, but probably not?
I questioned him a little bit just because he played at Kansas State, and I mean they didn't really have much competition going in, whereas Ohio State always has competition. But watching him against Texas and his highlights at K-State, I mean they weren't bad. But I definitely had really high expectations for him, and the national championship and stuff. I was a little eerie about it just because of the Oregon game when he screwed up on that slide there.
No, timeout should have been able to get off. I don't care. I actually don't even blame him for that anymore.
No.
That was stupid.
No. Yeah, and I think that was probably one of the only mistakes he really made all season besides Michigan. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of just viewed him as a bigger, more athletic Kyle McCord, so I didn't really think things would be that different. I figured we could win 10 or 11 games with him, make the playoffs, maybe make some noise. I didn't expect the fall off from Michigan that we saw. Obviously, it didn't matter when we played him, but I did not expect that fall off, so I expected that to be competition in the Big Ten again. I didn't expect Oregon to be as fraudulently high in the polls as they were, clearly. And I think I said that from the beginning. I mean, we were out the night that Ohio State lost to Oregon, and I told you if that game happened again anywhere besides Eugene, that's probably an Ohio State victory.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So, and I think if we didn't lose that game, I mean, obviously, I think we would have won the Rose Bowl either way, but I think the Rose Bowl would have been a lot closer.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, the revenge was definitely a big aspect of that game.
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't really know much about Will Howard going into the season because obviously I'm not paying attention to Ohio State. I was paying attention to Eli Holstein. The team that did not make the tournament. But so I didn't really know much, and to be honest, I think the first game I saw with him was the Oregon game, and I liked what I saw, so I'll leave it at that. But we'll jump in right away into the games. So the Akron game, obviously, easy W. 52-6. That score gives me nightmares, even though it's 52 and not 51. Alex knows why.
Yeah, I do.
Worst Penn State game I've ever been to. Will Howard was 17 for 28, 228 yards, 3 touchdowns. By the way,
You just carry that stat line throughout the entire season. That is the perfect Will Howard football game right there.
Which, by the way, real quick, Emily, Devin Brown wearing 33.
That's so weird. Like, I don't even know.
Yeah.
I don't know why
he started
that. Like, it was just such like an eyesore. Like watching him. Like it was.
It always has been for
Yeah.
3 years now. When he comes in to clean up after we demolish an inferior Ohio team, I have to watch him in that stupid 33 jersey every time.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I can't stand it.
It has to be with like the quarterback role. It has to be 19 and under.
Yeah.
For the numbers. God,
Yeah.
if I see
Bro,
a
you
0,
think you're Doug Flutie or something? Like, what are you doing?
if I see a 0, no.
It's weird. It's
1 through 19. That's all you can do as a quarterback. I don't care. But Travion Henderson carried the ball 8 times for 65 yards. Quentin Junkins, 13 for 55 and a touchdown. And then receiving Jeremiah Smith, got the ball 6 times, 92 yards and 2 touchdowns. Mecca Ibuka, of course, I'm just naming off the big names. Got the ball 4 times for 51 yards. So obviously, good win. And then I probably don't even need to look at the stats for the Western Michigan game, 56-0. Probably the same thing from Will Howard, to be totally honest. I will say, though, Alex did say this when we had the Cavs PA announcer on last time. I believe you said, didn't you say that Will Howard's like the most boring quarterback ever?
He is. He is, dude. He completes 70% of his passes for like 250 yards, 3 touchdowns, maybe a pick, and he'll rush for like 30 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah.
That was the story. That was the story of the season this year. He has like 20 completions on 30 attempts, 250 yards, a couple touchdowns, and then Travion Henderson and Judd both got like 10 carries.
Yeah. And he has the best wide receiver core in the country. Like all he has to do is throw the ball.
Wide receiver you.
Yeah.
Sorry, LSU. Not it anymore.
Not sorry, LSU. It's wide receiver you.
All Buckeyes now.
Yeah. But also, if there's any games you guys want to talk about, just stop me. Obviously, I know I'll stop at Oregon, Penn State, and then definitely Indiana, and then unfortunately,
yeah, please stop.
Yeah, we'll stop at Indiana. But all right, next Marshall. We are Marshall.
I thought that was going to be a ball game for a second. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, that was close.
At the beginning.
Yeah.
At the beginning, I thought that was going to be a ball game. I was scared. I thought our season was about to go down the drain.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then Michigan State, 38-7 W.
I feel so bad. They're either unranked. If they're unranked, if they're in the top 10, it doesn't matter. We just trounce Michigan State every time. It's so. I feel bad.
Yeah.
Honestly. And then Iowa 35-7. So, because I know I'm going to start at the Oregon game, actually have a question that I'll go off of because I feel like this man deserves at least his own question. Mr. Jack Sawyer. Great season. So the question is for the both of you.
That guy.
It's pretty obvious he added a lot, but I'm going to ask it anyway. What did Jack Sawyer bring to the Buckeye defense?
Everything basically. Like, I think if it wasn't for him, I think the Michigan game would have been. They probably would have had a little bit more, maybe. But I think he brought everything, basically. Like, yeah.
Dude's an animal. Relentless pursuit. Doesn't care where the ball is. Can find the ball no matter what.
Yeah.
Twitchy. I honestly looks like Max Crosby. It's really funny. Like, actually physically looks like Max Crosby. It's hilarious. American hero. I don't know what else to tell you. Literally Captain America.
Yeah. Yeah. If it wasn't for him, I don't know if we would have won the Texas game. But we did,
so good.
Yeah.
Welcome. All right. So next, Oregon. We obviously we touched base on it for a second, real quick. I'll read off the stats. Obviously, 32-31. Intense game. Will Howard was 28 for 35, 326 yards, 2 touchdowns. So he still played great. He still played great.
Dog. Had a rushing touchdown too. He was an animal in that game.
His mistake was just not really, but like it was just at the end that killed him.
Yeah. And then Dylan Gabriel for Oregon was 23 for 34, 341 yards, 2 touchdowns. So he also played great. I mean, 30 points for both teams. So that's good. That's good for both teams.
Evan Stewart annihilated us. Jesus, I forgot about that.
I will say though, because I think it was the close up with because I think I watched Will Howard's interview with John Gruden, the close up of when he's then his reaction. He was like, and then he realized time ran out. He's like, oh.
I love John Gruden. I don't care what anyone says. I love John Gruden.
God, but
speaking of that interview, I think that interview. I watched some of it. I didn't watch all of it yet, but like that interview, I think added so much, like for like drafting, like his stock and stuff, just because of how smart he is and his like football IQ and stuff like that. I think that added a lot.
Yeah, for sure. Trevion Henderson was 10 for 87, and then like you said, Will Howard got a rushing touchdown there. And then receiving, Jeremiah Smith had a great game, got the ball 9 times for 100 yards and touchdown. I was about to say for a second, there was like a piece of like, I don't know how it got on my laptop, a piece of like eraser, and I thought I saw -2, got the ball -2 times. I was gonna say, how is that possible? But yeah, so obviously close game, and like you said, Emily, it was just a mistake that didn't. I mean, you cannot put that loss on. I don't care. You cannot put that loss on Will Howard.
No, and I think
kid balled.
Yeah, and I think it helped too, because like that loss didn't really, at the end of the day, it really didn't matter. We still made the playoffs.
Yeah.
And it just added so much more for the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, and we're gonna get to it later. And I think the next time you played Oregon, I think he made up for it.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. Alex, what were your thoughts on the game? Before you get, I'm just gonna walk away for a second. I need to go find my water bottle real quick.
Yeah, so I was pissed at the end of that game because I knew that would be like pretty much that'll be a massive determining factor for the Big Ten championship now that there's not divisions.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, that we had the bye after this game, and I thought our season was going to fall apart because we have sucked after the bye the past 3 years.
Yes, yeah.
So after we lost to Oregon on the road, and then you're going to be covering these, but after losing to Oregon on the road, the bye, and then only beating Nebraska by 4 at home, off of that, I thought our season was going to fall apart. Like, I thought we were just going to miss the playoffs entirely at that point.
Right.
And then the greatest game ever was the next week.
I'm sorry. I just read a funny tweet from Cody Duncan. He just said, "I wouldn't trust Derek Sheldon to manage my grocery list."
I love Cody. I miss him. I haven't seen him in so long.
Oh, I retweeted that. But yeah. So Nebraska. We'll get right into that one. So obviously you're coming off of a loss, and then you keep it close with Nebraska. It's like
Nebraska and Patty Mahomes Jr.
I can't stand that guy. I'm so happy he decommitted from Ohio State.
Dylan Raiola?
Yeah.
Nah, kid's an animal. I'm not gonna lie. I like him a lot.
I can't really stand him. I don't know.
Really means he's Patty Mahomes Jr. Either you love him or hate him. So
true. Yeah.
He didn't throw any touchdowns, and he threw a pick. So there's that.
Mike knows how I feel about the Chiefs.
Oh my God, no. Okay. 13 for 16 for Will Howard, 221 yards. He still had 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
One interception. Got sacked 2 times. Really, there's other than Canal
Carnell Tate.
Tate. I can't speak. We got the ball 4 times for 102 yards and a touchdown. They're really Jeremiah Smith got the ball 3 times, 70 yards and a touchdown. There really isn't a stat here that stands out from this game, and obviously so, because you look at the final score and it being that close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't really watch much of this game. Hopefully my cousin's not watching, but my cousin got married this day. So I was like sitting there trying to watch and like not really pay attention to the wedding and like yelling at my phone. Yeah. But
I was working my own football game. So
yeah.
That's pretty much the case for this entire season.
Yeah. But I watched the end and it was so bad. Like I don't even know what happened. Like I don't know. It wasn't good.
All right, listen, hot take. We are now halfway through the 2020s decade, which is really weird.
Yeah.
God, don't even. Oh my God. Why would you say that?
All right, seriously though, Carnell Tate, one of the most underrated Buckeyes of this decade of Buckeye football.
Okay.
That was Emeka Ibuka until he broke the all-time receiving record he did this year.
Yeah, which is weird because I feel like he did get the ball a lot, but like he didn't at the same time.
There's just so many other huge names that were getting the ball too. Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, MHJ, Jeremiah Smith. They're all getting mad. JSN, they're all getting mad touches, and then he was just always there.
Yeah.
Biggest disappointment ever, Julian Fleming.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. I agree with that.
So for this next game, I need to prepare.
Hold on 1 second. My dog is like barking right now. I'm gonna go let her in my room.
Dog cameo. Let's go.
All right, you gotta drop names.
Oh, the brown one is, I don't even know if you can see it. That's Sadie, and then this one is Casey.
Oh,
love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay. I can't express how much I hate Penn State.
I enjoyed this win more than the Natty. Genuinely.
Listen. I'm about to go off. I'm about to go off. For anybody that says, if Penn State didn't make these mistakes, they would have won. Listen. If you would have said this, you could have said the same thing about Ohio State. If both teams didn't make the mistakes that happened in that game, you want to know who would have won? Ohio State!
We would have won by like 50 if we didn't make the mistakes we did.
They're so delusional. Oh my God. And listen, it's funny. So before the semifinal game, I actually joked with Alex. I was like, damn, I might be going to Ohio State game before you. And then I look at the bracket and I go, oh no. And I look at the road and I'm like, dear God, no. They beat SMU. They beat Boise State. And I'm like,
my Mustangs, man.
Easiest run. Like they should have made the national championship.
If I see this team go to the national championship while I'm in Miami, I'm done. Luckily, I saw their biggest loss since the 80s because
it was so good.
It was so great. I was texting Alex panicking so much, and he was like, calm down.
Shut up. It's going to be fine. I was like, Drew Aller's going to do something stupid, and they're going to choke. Do you not understand who this is?
He does that a lot.
Yeah, but no.
Ball knowledge.
But no, Emily, listen to this. So it was before that. And
please tell me this chat's still saved. I'm looking.
This. I think I screenshotted it.
I think you did.
This shows Alex's ball knowledge. It was like 5 minutes before this happened. I'm like freaking out. I'm like, oh, I don't want him to win. I don't want him to win. And he goes, Drew Aller is due for a screw up.
Yeah.
He has not thrown a ball to a wide receiver, not a touchdown, a ball to a wide receiver, and it was complete. He's gonna throw an interception. Notre Dame's gonna drive down the field a little bit and kick a field goal. And then what's gonna happen is they're gonna be too pressured. Nothing's gonna happen in the last play of the game. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
All knowledge.
Once again, okay, moral of this. Penn State against the big teams cannot get the job done. It's the same thing since 2017. I don't know how many times we have to repeat ourselves.
Yeah.
And you want to know whose fault that is? James Franklin. Yes. Yes. I actually feel bad for Drew Aller, but at the same time, I don't, because guess what? Next time, before the biggest game of your career, maybe don't go partying out on a yacht hours before the biggest game of your career. Maybe just a thought. Yeah. And he's gonna he's gonna get a team to actually pick him in the first round next year. Yeah, okay. Steelers, if you pick him, I'm done with you. So that's why I want them to draft Jackson Dart so bad. So because that means I know they're not gonna
Jackson Dart.
You want Jackson Dart?
Yeah.
Listen, Emily. Listen to me. All right. Again.
I like so I underrated opinion. I am a little bit biased on this. I like Will Howard because I think
I do too.
He's like Ben Roethlisberger.
I like the system. I like the way he can work in the system.
Yeah. Yeah.
God, you remember when Ben was kind of athletic? That's crazy.
Yeah. That was.
But okay. So to this game, 20-13, they had 4 chances to drive the ball in, and they couldn't do it. That's how much they got. And everybody was chanting "Fire Franklin, Fire Franklin." Listen, I will say though, there is some people I do feel bad on the Penn State side. Not James Franklin, but his wife and kids. I did feel bad for them.
Yeah,
I will say that I did feel bad for them.
Weren't they walking with him out of the game, and they were like saying, "Yeah, that's bad."
Yeah.
Franklin, take the fam and go rebuild Vandy again, buddy.
Yeah. Franklin, I don't care about Franklin. His wife and kids, I was just like, guys, leave them alone. Come on. But listen, Franklin just talks too much, and then he gets bit in the ass at the end, is what I'm gonna say. Like, especially before the Notre Dame game, he was talking out of his ass. And Freeman, I remember do you guys remember seeing the picture of Marcus Freeman looking like, dude, you really trying to little bro me right now? Yes. I was like, yeah. It's over.
I hate Notre Dame, but he's such a dog. I can't even lie.
Yeah, he's got that swagger to him. But yeah. So stat wise, if I can pull it up, Will Howard was 16 for 24, 182 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick.
Bad game, honestly.
Yeah, the
stats say differently a little bit, but bad game. His pick was really, really bad.
Also, we want to talk about mistakes. If he didn't throw that pick, the final score would have been 20-7.
It was a pick 6, yeah,
or 20-6. I don't know if
whatever, yeah,
something like that. Yeah. Drew Aller was 12 for 20, 146 yards, no touchdowns, and a pick, sacked twice. Once again, not good. He sucks. He's overrated. Heisman my ass.
He always chokes against Ohio State. I mean, in the big games, but like always against Ohio State.
It was the best thing ever. Not this past season, but the season before his first season as the starter. When I turned on the Ohio State game in like the second quarter, and he was like 8 for 27 passing or something like that. It was the best thing ever. I've never seen anything that fantastic before.
But yeah, Penn State's overrated. I mean, I have nothing else to add on to this because, quite frankly, for me, it was even though it was close and Will Howard didn't play well, it was an obvious win for Ohio State because Penn State just can't get it done. It was so obvious.
Oh, the year before, Drew Aller was 18 for 42 against Ohio State. Oh, that's amazing.
They always choke against Ohio
Mhm.
State. It's actually insane.
Every time.
And it's funny because the fans are already saying like, oh, this year's going to be our year. We're going to beat Ohio State this year. Good luck. It's at Ohio State. Oh wait, are they playing Ohio State this year? I don't even know.
I don't think they're on our schedule. I don't know.
Oh my god, they might
No,
actually.
they
be.
are. They're
Are
in the
I
shoe
think
this year.
Okay.
We get them at home this year, so yeah, add to the streak.
Oh yeah, they are. Sorry, my thing screwed up. Yeah, they are.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't. I stayed so much. Anyway, the next game was Purdue 45-0, easy dub. And then
2 straight snooze fests.
And then at Wrigley Field in Chicago against
that's right.
Northwestern 31-7.
That game was a little weird. Like
every time we play Northwestern, it's weird. I don't get it.
But like playing at Wrigley Field was so weird because of how like the stadium was set up. Like it just like everything was so off. I feel like the one touchdown Carnell Tate had, they didn't even show it because the camera like got all jacked up or whatever. Like it was like there was a fan that like stood up in front of it. It was weird.
All I'm gonna say is football games do not belong on baseball fields.
No.
I mean,
stop it.
No. It was cool, kind of cool though, like the idea, but no, because
the fact that it was at Wrigley is cool. Yeah.
Yeah, but like where they were sitting at and stuff, like the fans, like they were off the field. Like it was just so weird.
It was bizarre for sure.
Well, here's another perfect example: the Oakland Coliseum. When the
I was
Raiders...
just about to say, every time I think of a baseball football field, I just think of Chris Boswell eating it, trying to kick that game-tying field goal against the Raiders in like 2017 or whatever it was.
He was awful that year. He was awful.
He was so bad.
He was bad. But all right, next game. Not yet. Not the one. Not the game yet. But the Indiana game. 38.
My personal favorite.
Real quick before I let you guys go off on that. Will Howard was 22 for 26, 201 yard, 2 touchdowns and a pick. And then Trevion Henderson got the ball 9 times for 68 and a touchdown for rushing. And then receiving wise, Emeka Ibuka got the ball 7 times for 80 yards and a touchdown. So Alex had some choice words for Mr. Signetti after this game. Would you like, Emily, what you said? If you remember, of course.
I was so hot after this one because I just remember going on Twitter like right before we recorded that episode and seeing all the like Hoosier truthers on there who were trying to convince everyone that they were still a good football team. All I gotta say is Will Howard at the end of the game. Best thing.
That was good.
Flicked it and stomped it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whole game in a nutshell right there. You know what that reminded me of? That was Baker Mayfield against Kansas-esque. That's what that reminded me of. Do you remember? Y'all remember that game where Baker Mayfield lost his mind playing Kansas because they were cheap shotting him and they didn't shake hands after the coin toss?
Yeah.
That's what that game reminded me of. Yes. That just reminded me of a pissed off football team trashing on a team that thought they were on their level.
Yeah. That was a good game. That was
Kurt Signetti, your quarterback threw for 68 yards. Soft. Yeah. Soft.
And he was all talk. Not
to mention Caleb Downs with the punt return touchdown, leading great. To my official pick for favorite Gus Johnson football call of the entire season.
Yes. Yeah.
World famous. I love Gus Johnson so much.
Thanks. But okay. Guys, it's time. Guys, it's time. I'm sorry. It's time. Okay. So because this one's gonna take a little bit. I just know it is. So just like all the other games for this, I was actually I can't remember what movie I was watching. It was actually the last time I was at a movie theater. I was at the movies watching a movie with my dad, and I was paying attention to this game on my phone, like trying my best. And I remember the last thing I saw, because I was tired of looking at my phone and I was trying to watch the movie too. I think it was Will Howard was driving, and I was like, oh, they got this. Little did I know.
Nope. Didn't have it.
13-10 Michigan, 7-5 Michigan. Will Howard was 19 for 33, 175 yards, a touchdown, 2 interceptions. Davis Ward,
the worst game of the season.
9 for 16, 62 yards, 2 interceptions. A year where Michigan, a year where Michigan had no idea what they were doing at quarterback. Quinton Junkin got the ball 12 times for 50 yards. Carnell Tate, 6 for 58. So go ahead.
If you don't come to win this game, you're an idiot. The only person that showed up that day was Jack Sawyer.
Yeah.
That's it. If you win this game, you're in the Big Ten championship. Like, I don't know why they did not. Like, it's just so frustrating because, like, they're 5-6. They didn't play good all season. The play calling was god awful. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Yeah, just didn't throw the ball to Jeremiah Smith, which was
Bad.
a choice. I mean, Davis Warren threw for 60 yards and 2 interceptions.
Yeah. And how we didn't capitalize off those, I don't know.
Oh my God. The only good thing about this game was the parallel between Jack Sawyer's pick against Michigan and then the scoop and score for a touchdown against Texas. That was the only good thing to come from this game.
Yeah. And I do think Ryan Day should have been fired after this game.
Oh,
I called for his job.
If you don't beat Michigan, your season's over with. Screw the national championship. Screw all that. If you don't beat Michigan, your season's over with. You could go 1 I don't even know, 13 or
1-11
whatever.
nowadays.
1-11 and beat Michigan, you're fine. Like, you're fine. Would I be a little bit ticked off? Yeah, but you beat Michigan. Who cares? That's all you have to do.
What he hates ideology, baby.
Yeah. I don't know.
Why'd you go for 2 at the end of the game? Because I couldn't go for 3.
Yeah.
Still my favorite quote ever. Yeah, I mean, Michigan had 2 guys with more than 1 reception, and they combined for 5 catches for 15 yards.
Yeah.
I still don't understand why Donovan Edwards just didn't get used in this game at all, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, God, actually, this is a pathetic stat line. That's so crazy.
Which Alex knows why I was mad after this game because of Michigan winning. Guess who got sent to the Big Ten championship?
Penn State.
Yeah. Which
they
lost by 10. State. And I'll admit, you keep it 10 against Oregon. I'll admit, not bad. Pretty good.
And a shootout too, nonetheless.
Yeah, I'll give them credit. Of course, after that game, all my Penn State friends were like, we kept it close with them. We have what it takes. Okay. Yeah. So all I'm going to say is this, because obviously I've made it abundantly clear I'm not an Ohio State fan, but I'm going to say this. If the opposing team takes their flag, plants it on your field, and you stand there and do nothing, you should be fired.
You're soft.
Yeah.
You're soft.
Yeah.
And Emily said it best. The only person that showed up that day was Jack Sawyer. And who grabbed the flag and threw it? Jack Sawyer. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
And the body cam footage of that at the end was crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I think people that were saying, like, oh, Jack Sawyer shouldn't have done that. Yes, he should have. He's an Ohio guy. Yes, he should have. Like, I would have done the same thing. Like, I don't, yeah.
Yeah.
What was he supposed to do? Keep walking? No.
Yeah. It was like I'm not even an Ohio State fan, and even that was like ugly to watch and hard to watch. Like the highlights and then that video, it was just insane. So obviously, no questions about it. I know the answer. The both of you are about to say Ryan Day should have been fired. Where were you? Where after the game? Where were you guys at with Ryan Day? Because I know you're gonna say he should have been gone, but go ahead.
Yeah,
Say it
he
anyway.
100% should have been fired on the field when that clock hit triple zeros right away, because you can't, like, that just doesn't make any sense. Like, how does that happen? Like, his teams are never, well, at this point, his teams are never ready for the big games. Like, I just didn't understand why. Like his play calling was awful. Like his coaches weren't even ready. Yeah.
I had a lot of choice words from this game.
Yeah.
I don't even remember everything I said, and which group chat was it even in that I was talking?
I probably the one with the two.
It had Bryson dominant, so like
yeah, maybe the two Michigan fans in our group chat.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of which one it would have been. Maybe March Madness. I don't know.
I don't know, but like I said, it's like it obviously like the rest of the season. I mean, you win it all, it gets better, but like if you don't beat your listen, like I have been in pain the fact that we have not played Penn State in however many years, and they got the last. Well, they're also scared to play us, but
yeah, that's facts.
Like, listen. Okay, correct me
soft
correct
program. Don't care.
Correct me if I'm wrong. If you say you have nothing to gain to play us, but okay, what do you have to gain against Bowling Green?
Right.
If you get, if we're easy
every year, that in West Virginia too, I think.
I hate West Virginia even more. Don't even get me started on West Virginia.
I don't really have. I don't know. I like both, which is weird. My mom got her master's from Pitt, but I don't
Good
really.
choice. Good choice.
Yeah, so probably Pitt, but still.
Good choice.
But that game's Pitt and Penn State and Pitt and West Virginia should always be played.
Yeah. At least West Virginia plays us every year, even though.
Yeah, we got to revive that.
13-9.
Bring back the Big East. How many times I gotta say it?
Yeah.
Please, bring back the Big East.
Please.
God.
All right, I gotta stop talking about other teams. So then we get into the playoffs. So I'm gonna ask the both of you, where on a scale of 1 to 10, where was your hope level for the playoffs?
Lose to Oregon.
Yeah, I didn't think we were gonna beat Tennessee.
I thought we were gonna trash Tennessee. I did not think they were that good.
Yeah,
Fair.
I didn't really look too much at Tennessee because I was just so ticked off that I didn't even care. Like
their offense is just gimmicky. They play no defense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They were subpar against even bad SEC schools.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think this game showed a lot more about our play calling. Like the first play, they threw the ball. Like that's what we should have been doing all season. Like I don't know. Like why are you running the ball? Like
I knew we were gonna win. I knew we were gonna win as soon as all the Tennessee players came out with their shirts off at our place.
And then they ran down the field and then they put them back on because.
Yeah, I was like, what, bro?
Idiots.
Like, what do you do? What are these clowns? Like, I'm gonna say what Will Howard said. What are these clowns doing?
Literally.
Bro, that picture of him in the background just laughing when they're on the field without shirts is so funny. I just saw it again on Instagram like 2 days ago.
Yeah, like I don't even. What was the temperature that day? I don't even know. It was like
very cold.
Yeah, very cold.
And they looked out of shape. Like they weren't even like.
They couldn't even run with us.
No. But that after the first drive, when Jeremiah Smith had that touchdown, I knew it was over. Like whatever.
He's such a dog.
Yeah.
Such a dog.
I just don't know why our play calling wasn't like that all year. Like
it was another Will Howard game too. It's so funny. Yeah. It's the same every time.
Yeah.
So from my assessment from the playoffs with Ohio State was they were playing like they had nothing to lose, and guess what? That's exactly what Ryan Day's job was like. Because if he would have lost the first round,
He was gone.
He was gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was gone. So then let's move on to I didn't even say the final score. It was 42-17.
Dogged them.
Yeah. And then Oregon.
I'm pretty sure 10 of
41.
those points came up against our backups, by the way.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
It's funny. Oregon, final score was 41-21. Gotta find.
I think
Mhm.
they didn't score. Wait. Yeah, they didn't score until like the second half, right?
No, they scored 10. They scored their first 10 in the first half. They scored their last. It was 42-10. They made it 42-17 on the last drive of the game. I'm pretty sure.
I was looking at the Oregon game. I was like, wait, what are you talking about? What are you guys talking about? And then
We dogged on Dylan Gabriel too.
Oh yeah.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, the final score to that was 41-21.
Jeremiah Smith, what a dog.
Will Howard, 17 for 26, 319 yards, 3 touchdowns. Dylan Gabriel, 29 for 41, 299 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Trevion Henderson got the ball 8 times for 96, 2 touchdowns. Jeremiah Smith, you're right, 7 for 187 and 2 touchdowns. Good Lord.
God.
Good.
3 different defensive players with 2 sacks each, by the way. I think we sacked Dylan Gabriel like 8 times in this game. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremiah Smith made their defense look stupid.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love it so much.
Yeah.
But so after the Oregon game, did you guys think we might have a shot here?
I think I said to you, Mike, even at one point, if we beat Oregon, we could win the Natty.
Mhm.
I think I said that to you at one point, but I can't remember.
You did.
I was a little bit more eerie about Texas because I mean they had a good season. Yeah. But they had a good season and like Quinn Ewers played at Ohio State, so like that was a little bit like but yeah.
Speaking of which, rematch in week 1 this year.
Yeah. That's good. And it's a noon game, which is
a noon game at DKR, I'm pretty sure.
I think so.
Yeah. Oh no, it's at home.
Yeah.
Oh snap! We get him in the shoe in the rematch. Oh, that's gonna be crazy.
I think it's the dumbest thing that this is a noon game. Like why? Like
yeah, why is this not a primetime game?
Like yeah.
But yeah, so Ohio State 28, Texas 14. I was watching this in Florida I believe it was the day after the Penn State Notre Dame game.
Yeah.
I was already on a high, of course, so I didn't really care who won this game. I was obviously probably more so on Ohio State just because obviously closer. So and also I wanted to go on the show, the next show, and do the horns down. So
yeah.
But yeah, where's the stats? Okay. Will Howard, 33, 289 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. Quinn Ewers was 23 for 39, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. Obviously, the thing that sealed it was because of Mr. Jack Sawyer. As I get ready for the last game. So obviously, after you win the semifinals, it's like there's really no excuse now.
This was the Carnell Tate game too. This was the Carnell Tate legacy game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Trevion with the 75-yard receiving touchdown at the buzzer to end the first half was huge.
That was crazy.
As soon as I saw the setup for the screen, as soon as I saw the line release, I was like, "Oh my god, wait, he's got room."
Yeah, that was a good play. That was, yeah. Our play calling in the playoffs was unreal. Like I don't even know what happened. Like I don't know.
Chip Kelly realized that he was holding a KFC menu during the Michigan game, and then found his actual play sheet for the playoffs again.
Yeah, basically.
God, that's crazy.
Just like I'm pretty sure Andy Reid was looking at a KC barbecue menu during the Super Bowl, but
yeah, for sure. But okay. Here we go.
The big one.
The big one. The game that gave you guys the national championship. The game that saved Ryan Day's ass.
Yeah.
But real quick, because I'm curious, if you would have lost either the semifinal or the national championship, do you think Ryan Day still would have been gone?
I think there's a good chance.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, probably. It depends on this. It depends on how bad it looked, but yeah, I think he probably would have been gone.
Mm-hmm. So, Alex, obviously we had Adrian on the show before.
Yeah, I forgot we did the Adrian show.
So Will Howard was 17 for 21, 231 yards and 2 touchdowns. Riley Leonard was 22 for 31, 255 yards and 2 touchdowns. Obviously, you
Jumped
look
out
at
big on him.
you did. This was so obviously Notre Dame struck first in the first, but then Ohio State scored 21 in the second, and then in the third quarter, 10. But here's the thing, though.
I believe it was 31-7 before Notre Dame scored again, correct?
Yeah.
I believe so. Yeah. But then of course so I can't even talk about it. Like, that's your guys' team winning the national championship. There's so many big plays at the end that you could say that sealed the deal. But
I thought it was gonna be kind of anticlimactic because like I texted Parker and I was like, "Hey, you wanna hang out and have a couple beers and watch the Natty?" He's like, "Yeah, sure, I'll slide over to your house." I was like, "All right, bet." He got to my house, we started having a couple beers, and then like it was just like it seemed like it was gonna be mad boring at that point. So like we were literally actually like a beer in, and we were like, "Let's go out and watch this somewhere at least. Like, let's go out in public somewhere." So that's when we ended up going up and hanging out up in our favorite cigar lounge, and then it started getting interesting, and I was a little scared. I thought I was gonna have to order a couple extra drinks, but
Yeah. I knew we were gonna win this game, but I was scared on the first drive. It was the first drive, right? That when
Yeah.
they scored with Riley.
yeah, they
Leonard.
went right down.
Yeah, they just ran the ball, and it was like, oh my gosh, it was the first couple of drives, and then we kind of woke up and then realized, oh my god, like we gotta, yeah. So I was a little bit nervous from that, but after everything started clicking, I mean, I just kind of knew. Except for the last half of the game, that was really, really scary.
Yeah, I was nervous.
Everything fell apart. Like our defense, I don't even know what happened. Like they just
You can
stopped
only
running.
hold on for so long sometimes, especially against another talented football team.
Well, that too, yeah. But that ending was a little bit. That was a little scary, but
yeah.
thank God for Jeremiah Smith.
And Jack Sawyer and
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Jaden Greathouse scored that first touchdown, make it 31-15. That kid's a dog. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, he was good. Yeah.
He had both of those touchdowns in the second half.
Yeah, for sure. But all right, so two-parter before we start winding down here. Where is Ryan Day with you guys now? And also, too, come on, how did it feel to win it all?
I think I mean, he's okay right now. I mean, the national championship was a big deal, but if he blows it to Michigan this year, he's gone. Like, you have to fire him. Like, who cares about winning another national championship? Like, you have to beat Michigan. That's all you have to do.
If he can't beat the team up north for like what, the fourth year in a row, it'll be
I think so, yeah.
third or fourth year in a row.
I think it might be fourth, yeah.
Yeah, we got him on the road this year too. That's tough. Gotta go to Ann Arbor.
Yeah. Yeah, but if you can't beat them, you're gone. But it did feel good to win the national championship.
Hey, I mean, we won the inaugural Natty in both playoff formats.
Right.
The first Natty of the 14 playoff and the first of the 12-team playoff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So basically, if the committee decides this year to make it like a 16 or an 18-team playoff, it just means we're going back to back, pretty much.
Right. I personally like the 12 team because I think it gives a little bit more of an underdog look.
Yeah,
Even
I mean,
those
it's
games, they were
I was
big
annoyed.
blowouts.
I was
Yeah,
annoyed by all the people complaining about it.
yeah. But
Oh,
the first couple games were blowouts. Like it wasn't even like, but I
yeah.
think it was still like cool. I don't know for the other guys.
Indiana fans, your fraudulent team wouldn't even give you the bragging rights of making the playoffs if it wasn't a 12-team playoff. So,
Oh,
Yeah.
my Penn State friends were texting me after the national championship, and right away I was like, "Stop, stop." One particular person, Kellis, said literally, he was like, "If it was the 4 team, they would have never won. Penn State would never make the playoffs if
No.
it's the 4 team. They will never
No.
make the playoffs.
They
they
would've had
never
two
did.
losses.
They never did. Exactly.
Yeah, they would have had 2 losses.
Like it. Oh God, I don't even know. But so I figured for the last part, as we wind down here, because we're doing pretty good on time, the obvious names that are going into the draft on the Ohio State roster, I'm going to name them off. I want you to give me a prediction of where do you think they're going to go and get drafted.
Oh Christ! All right.
I only have 2 guesses for 2 of them. So this.
After this, also, I do want to run down the schedule for this year.
Oh, that too.
Yeah.
Now I need to make sure I have right. First of all, wait, I got to make sure I have right who's going in and who's not going in. I'm just doing this off of the top of my head, so it's like probably like. Okay, so is Quinshon Junkins going into the draft?
Yeah.
Okay, first one. Where do you think he's gonna go?
I don't even know. I haven't even looked at any mock drafts yet.
Judkins, probably. Him and Travion are both going to the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Or wait, is Jud? Yeah, he is going. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it right now on Draft Buzz.
I don't even know where he's. I mean, I would say he's probably like a 2nd round pick somewhere.
I'd say a 2nd or a 3rd rounder. Yeah, probably.
Him and Travion both, I think, are 2nd, 3rd round. But I don't.
Yeah, I couldn't even tell you a team, honestly.
Fair. So then the next one I will say, originally I actually had a pick for him, but since the Steelers traded for DK Metcalf, that's out of the window. Emeka Egbuka.
Yeah, he's definitely a late 1st round pick at the worst, I would say.
Yeah. I don't even.
He's probably going to be a Packer at 23.
He would be the most Green Bay Packer. Like, I would. Yeah. All right. Last 2. Mr. Will Howard.
I think I would really like him to go to the Steelers, like I said earlier.
Yeah, I think he's probably
I like him over Jackson Dart.
I don't.
Really. I don't know. I think Jackson Dart's a little bit overrated, in my opinion, but he struggled a little bit. But so did Will Howard.
I think they're both probably in reality day 2 picks, probably 3rd round picks, 4th round picks, maybe. I think Dart has a chance to go all the way up in as early as the late 1st.
Yeah. Stop. Sorry.
Yeah, I can't even think of a team. I'm probably just gonna go like I'm gonna say he's probably gonna be like a late 3rd round pick.
Imagine he goes to the Cleveland Browns.
I'll shoot myself.
Well, imagine how I feel with Kenny Pickett.
I think Will Howard's like a 2nd, 3rd round too. But the Steelers have to pick a quarterback.
Yeah, bad.
Yeah.
Because it's either Mason Rudolph or Aaron Rodgers. So
Yeah.
and then I think this man, honestly, I think I've said this already. I think he is the most Dan Campbell player ever, and that is
Jack Sawyer's going to be a Lion. Jack
He has
Sawyer's
to
got to
be.
be a
He
Lion.
I
has to
think he's
be.
going to the Bengals.
The Bengals.
I think-
Oh, that's another good one. Yeah.
I think to keep him in Ohio, I think that would be really cool.
I think if he goes to the Bengals, he's a second-round pick because they're not going to spend the 17th pick on him.
Yeah, but I think Jack Sawyer would also be gone in the first round.
He could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could be. But all right, we literally just hit an hour, so that's good. So Emily, thanks for coming back on.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
I'm sure you'll
Well, we got to
probably
hit the schedule, boy.
the schedule. Oh crap, that's right. I almost forgot. Yeah, go
Come
ahead.
on now. I'll just run through them real quick. Just give our thoughts real quick. All right, like I said, opening the season August 30th against Texas at home. Time's technically to be announced on that, so I guess it could be I don't know, we'll see.
Yeah.
Couple boring out of conference games. Got Grambling State and the Ohio Bobcats at home.
Those are boring. Yeah.
And then a bye, and then start a Big Ten conference play. On the road at Washington, home against Minnesota, on the road against the Fighting Illini, in Wisconsin. That's going to be a cool one at Camp Randall.
Against Luke Fickell.
Yeah. On the road at Camp Randall, then the second bye, and then Penn State at home. L for the Nittany Lions there. On the road at Purdue.
I was gonna say
UCLA at home against Rutgers, and then on the road in Ann Arbor for the game.
Yeah.
That's a pretty favorable schedule.
I'm surprised they haven't played Illinois in a while.
No.
I went to that game when Cardell Jones threw an interception and took that guy out. Yeah, I was there.
Buckeyes legend, Cardell Jones.
Yes, yeah.
Ohio State Buckeyes and DC Defenders legend.
DC Defenders.
The man who also beat a Make-A-Wish kid in NCAA football like 98-20.
Oh my god.
That's a legend. I love him.
They get to fight for the Illinois trophy. That's cool.
Yeah, that is oh my god, that's such a weird trophy.
Yeah, that is really weird.
There's a lot of weird rivalry trophies.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, actually, Alex, I actually let Emily and Lily do the paper toss on Thursday. It even said
shoot, I don't even have a piece of paper.
Oh damn. But yes, episode 97, Alex. Actually, Alex, you got a couple weeks off before 100, so you're off the show for a few weeks.
That's so crazy.
I just realized. Yeah, we're coming up on 100.
That's crazy.
Yeah, crazy, which means our time at Edinburgh is pretty much done.
I'm looking at my cap and gown. It's hanging from my door right now.
I think mine just got shipped.
Yeah.
When do you guys graduate?
May 3rd.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, May 3rd. And guess what? Not graduating with him. He's at 10 o'clock. I'm at 2:30.
Yeah. Our ceremonies are at totally different times.
That's weird.
It's unfortunate. I will be, Alex, I don't care. I know I graduated that day at 10 o'clock or after for pictures. I will be there.
Yep.
I will find a way. So take it away.
Good night, America. Thanks for stalling long enough for me to find paper.
Yeah.